Good afternoon, Facebook. Good afternoon, YouTube. I am here today with Malinda Alford. Welcome to the Layover Podcast. Today we have Miss Malinda Alford. She is a realtor. We'll be talking about the topic of arrival. Please, as you're joining in, go ahead and let us know where you're joining in from. If you're able to hear us, also please throw some hearts so I know that the sound is doing well. So, good afternoon, Melinda. For the people that do not know who you are, tell us, who is Melinda Song Alford?
Hey, thank you very much. Good afternoon. And thank you once again for inviting me on this platform. I think it's amazing what you're doing. And, you've done a lot of amazing things, but this just adds to the next level of greatness about you. So I appreciate that. So, yes, my name is Malinda Alford. I am a real estate agent here in Columbia, South Carolina. Was not born and raised here. I actually a transplant. My dad was in the military, and I think we arrived in Columbia, South Carolina in about 84. But I claim South Carolina as my home state. I'm from off of Leesburg Road, Pine Lakes, Hickory Ridge, 48, whoop, whoop, so I
Hello.
represent, what they call the country. And, you know, like you said, I'm a real estate agent, wasn't always a real estate agent. I have a background in the medical field. Insurance collections, medical debt collections, management experience. So I do come from the corporate side of things. But that's pretty much it about me.
Okay. So, you're from 48, you from Leesburg. You said you've been in Columbia since 84?
Yes, yes, yes.
Melinda,
Long.
you from here. Don't you say nothing different. You from
And it's so funny because I'll tell people I'm from here, but they never believe that. So I kind of have to throw that out there, like, well, I'm here from the military, but yes, I am from here. This is home for me. I'm not going anywhere. Tried to leave, came right back. So
came right back,
yeah,
right?
right
Yeah,
back.
I did the same thing. I left, probably was gone for about a year.
Yeah.
Came right back. It's something about Columbia that keeps us here.
It is absolutely. It's growing. It has that feeling of family, and I was in the middle of a contract in Boca Raton. I don't. You're a travel agent. You do travel, but it's beautiful there. Beaches all around me. Company paying for my living expenses, everything, and stopped in the middle of a project and said, "You know what? I miss home," and came right on back, and I haven't left since.
So you left Boca Raton, Florida.
Yes.
Now we gonna have to talk about this.
Yeah, yeah, I did. I left Boca Raton,
Look,
Florida.
vacation homie in Florida, please, darling.
Absolutely.
So, Melinda, what was your first thoughts when you first saw the topic of the arrival? Like, what did you think?
Like honestly, my original thought was that daggone Karen doing what she does in the way that Karen does things. I was like, this is brilliant. I was like, this is brilliant. And at first, it was almost overwhelming because I'm trying to put myself in these categories, right? And I see the topics and I'm like, okay, this is where I feel like I'm at. Oh no, this is where I'm at. This is just based off of my experiences. But by the time I finished just dissecting every subject, I it really had me doing some soul searching and reevaluating where I was at in life. It actually helped me, honestly.
I love it. I love it. When I send out the topics to all the ladies, a lot of response was like, "Oh my goodness, I don't even know which one to pick."
Right, right.
So, and the one once they picked, it was the same thing. Like, well, this one resonates the most with me.
Yeah,
So I'm glad that I was able to even, create that for you ladies.
right.
So that's a good thing. See,
Yeah.
God was working. That
He
was a
is.
God thing.
Definitely, definitely, absolutely.
So what does the arrival means to you?
So the arrival for me, and as I just stated, as I was going through each of the topics, at and if you don't mind, before I get to the arrival, to show that I've arrived, I contemplated the landing.
Okay.
Right. That was where I was at first. I said, you know what, I'm going to do the landing. But then I realized as I saw more, I talked to God about it. And God was like, no, you've actually arrived now. You're here. Like you are arrived. Some people think just because they've landed that they've made it to their destination. And the thing that helped me out was I realized I was at my destination. I wasn't landing. I had already landed. I'm not taxiing or anything like that. I actually have arrived. So I was going, I was in conflict with that at first, but God had to let me know, like, Malinda, no, you've arrived. You've not landed. Sometimes, and as a travel agent, and anybody else out there that's traveled, just because you've landed in Costa Rica does not mean you've gotten to your destination. You still got to get to the hotel. Like you're just in your location, but that's not your final destination. Some people get comfortable, and there was a point where I had landed, and I felt like I was where I was at, and there was no work to be done because I felt like I had arrived. But now, God, He had to let me know, Malinda, no, you have arrived. You have found yourself. You've adjusted accordingly. And I'm showing you in your fruits that you're bearing, that you're doing good work. You're where I want you to be. So I've arrived. Now I'm at a destination. It's not my final destination, right? So I know that there will be another season where I have to take another flight, I have to land again, and I'll have to arrive again. So just as I was saying, when you sent me those topics, like I really had to dig deep within myself to realize that this is an ongoing journey. And where I am today it's not landed. I have actually arrived. I've arrived in my season to do the work that I've been called to do. And then when I'm finished with that, guess what? I'm gonna have to fly again. So that's what I got from the topic of arrival and what it meant to me.
That's dope. And you're actually, I mean, even with the way that you broke it down with the landing, there's still taxiing. Your
Okay.
flight say you will land at, say 2 o'clock. You know that you will be on that plane probably another 12 to 15 minutes.
Right.
It gotta find where it needs to go.
Yes.
We gotta, we all gotta get off of that flight. We gotta go
Right.
find our baggage. Like there's so much that goes with the landing process that is still
Absolutely.
not a part of your arrival.
Right. And you know what? And I know that my subject was arrival, but even when we land, that uncomfortable feeling, like we want to get to where we came, and now we gotta wait. We gotta wait on these other planes to land. We gotta wait on everybody to get situated, and we have to wait on the plane to get to where it's going. And then you might be in the back. You might not be in first class, so you don't get to get off. Now you gotta wait for everybody else, and that is our journey. And so it just puts so much perspective between the landing and the arrival. The landing portion is so uncomfortable. It's not where we want to be. We get so excited, we get anxious about being where we're at, but no matter what, it's always a process. I didn't come here to preach, y'all.
We love it. Please
I
be
didn't come
very
here to preach.
transparent. Be
Yeah.
open. That's what the people are here for.
Right, right. So even in looking at where I'm at now, I know, like I said, by the fruits that I am bearing, that I have arrived and that I'm in my proper place. But once I stop bearing those fruits, okay, Malinda, like you love this location. This location is great. There's the sun, you got the palm trees, you're sipping out of coconuts. The time is going to end, and then I have to prepare for my next journey. So it's just like I said, it's just an ongoing journey.
And that is so true. So just talking to you now, I know that you know the whole process. But how long did it take you to even understand the process? Because for some of us, we don't even understand there's a process of, because once you arrive, some people get comfortable, like
Right,
it is the final destination.
right,
But even when you get to, you said Costa Rica, you got to get back somewhere else.
right. Took me
So when
years.
did that click for you to understand that even when once you arrive, there's still another point that you have to go through the another process or another journey?
You know what? It took me years. It took me years to get to this point to be. I think people have to know everybody's gone on this journey. They just don't realize it because we're always worried about what's going on now and we're always worried about what's going to happen in the future, but we never take the time to look back and reflect where we came from. We say it, but do we really know what that means? Have we really broken down our life in the past? So just to give you a little history about me, you know, um the person who was a teen mom, pregnant at 16, high school dropout. Well, guess what? That there was a destination there. I landed there. You know, that was not my final destination though, right? Then from there, I go off. I'm on another journey. Now I'm flying somewhere else. I get my GED and I decide I'm gonna go in the military part-time. And then I do that. Guess what? That was another flight that I had to take. Didn't want to, but did what I needed to do, you know? Then you go from there. And then I decide one day after I am a certified medic, you know, from in the military, well, I decided I want to stay in the medical field, right? So then I started doing like medical assistant work, phlebotomy work. And I'm just like, okay, you know what? I can make the same amount of money in the business office working in the medical field and probably more. So now I'm on a different journey. Always wanted to improve myself, right? So then now I go and do that. And then I'm working for one of the largest hospital systems in South Carolina. I become a supervisor. I become a manager. That was that journey there. And let me tell you something about the journey, how you'll know your time is up. Them drones don't fit no more. They get a little too tight. You start getting a little uncomfortable, right? Stuff starts going wrong. That means you overstayed your welcome. Some people take it as, you can take it as this because it's your journey. Some people might take it as, okay, well, I know the enemy is coming up against me because a blessing is coming. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes God got to lay you down to make you look up. All right.
Preach
So
now.
right. So every journey that I had, you know, from like I said, being a teen parent, a high school dropout, to now I'm a manager. Like I'm going to visit clients and I'm talking to them about their accounts receivables, telling them how they can, you know, maximize and collecting money. Let me tell you something. Money, that when it comes down to money, I took what I learned from the streets, that journey, and flipped it into contracts. So when I sit back and I look, instead of worrying about what's going on in my future, see, my past is telling me that I have a profitable and I'm going to be like what I need to be in the future because I've already excelled. So that's how I know, you know, about my journey and just being how I know that I've arrived and how I know, you know, that I've gotten to this point. We got to take time to reflect back and give ourselves credit for where we've truly come from, not for the people, not to just say it, not to glamorize, you know, oh, this rough life. No. When I tell people my story, it's a story of appreciation, a story of just being humble and looking back and saying, you know what? I'm a pretty cool chick here. Like I've done some magnificent things for myself, for me, you know. I didn't mean to ramble on about that, but
No, we were good.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm enjoying it. The people enjoying it.
Okay, great.
I see the comments. I was on the screen. But you're so right because after an arrival, there's still another flight for you to
There's
get.
still another
And
flight.
you just went through life of all the things that you have to endure
Right.
to get to where you are right now. And this is not your final stop.
It's
You
not.
have another part that you have, another flight that you have to get on and another destination that he's going to take you to.
Yes, yes,
So even with
absolutely.
saying that, for the people that are listening, there might be somebody right now that has arrived somewhere and they're like, oh, this can't be it. You're
Right.
right.
It's not.
Exactly. And it's okay. We can't be complacent. We have
No.
to have higher goals. When you hit a goal, that goal should create another goal.
Yes. Yes.
You cannot be complacent in that area that you're in.
Right.
Because also, when you get a breakthrough, your breakthrough is helping somebody else. So if
Right.
you stop the person that's behind you waiting on you to keep moving, or that is motivated by you, you stop them as well.
And listen, not only that, not even just for the people that are following you, but you're sitting in a position that somebody else is supposed to take. You're holding up their progress.
Okay.
Okay. It may not be that everybody's supposed to follow me, but like I'm sitting in a position and I'm holding up somebody else's growth because I refuse to move and they're supposed to take my place.
Now
Ooh,
that's your perspective.
yeah, that's wrong right there. And I refuse to hold up somebody else's growth because I done got comfortable and I don't want to be uncomfortable on my next flight. No. Get on that plane, Malinda. Somebody you holding up the hotel room for somebody else who needs the book.
Right.
About that.
It's time to go.
Yes. Check out.
So for 2020, because 2020 for a lot of people was, the pandemic. It slowed them down. It stopped them. For you, was that part of your arrival? Was that your layover that got you to your arrival now? Like, what was 2020 for you into now 2021 that you've arrived?
2020 for me was definitely a layover. It was painful. It was 2020 for me, just like I said earlier, sometimes God will put you on your back and make you look up. And I was definitely on my back and I didn't see it coming. And that's the part right there. Usually we can brace ourselves for the hit, but I did not see it coming. So it was just God just cutting me just all naturally. Like Melinda, I need you to see some things. In order for you to get to your next destination, I need you to see some things. You got some baggage that you're carrying, and you're at a 2 bag minimum, maximum, and you trying to carry 5 bags. That's not going to work. And so it was definitely a layover for me. In 2020, I think the biggest thing was learn who I was. And honestly, I can honestly say that it started in therapy. When I was talking to my therapist like early in March, and she made me ask myself, Melinda, like, where do you belong? What do you mean? Like, where do you belong in your job? Where do you belong, in your real estate business? Where do you belong in your family? You know what I'm saying? Where do you belong in yourself? And I did not have an answer because we know prior to 2020, we were all busy. We were all running around, we're doing events, we're traveling, we're networking, we're making new friends, trying new ventures. And when all that went away, all I had was myself. And I realized in that season that there was just some things that I did not like about me. Melinda, there's just some things that you can't address with other people until you address with yourself. Are
Ooh,
you really a good friend?
ooh,
Are you a toxic friend? Are
ooh.
you a real good agent? Are you a lazy agent? Are you putting in the time with your family that you need to put the time in? Or is your family taking up too much of your time? In 2020, I think one of the biggest things that I had to fight was making it about me first. Because we're not taught that, right? It's God
Right.
first, right? Which God is omnipresent. He's here. He's all around. He knows he's first in my life. God is first in my life. But then it was my family. And then it was my job. And then it was me. And I was at the bottom of that totem pole. And I used events, I used trips, I used friends, everything to cover up how broken I was on the inside and how displeased I was with myself. So it was definitely a layover. I I worked on so many things in 2020 and lost a few people. Some people were a casualty of the war. I probably shouldn't have lost, but I did lose them in that process, you know. Um, but I had to do it for me. And I was fine with that. So 2020 was definitely a layover for me.
So during 2020, it's fair to say that you had some healing moments because of those questions you was asking yourself, honey. I'm like, wait a minute. How
Yeah.
many of us are really ready to even answer those questions now? I
No,
today.
right. You know, they were very tough questions. And I think one of the most difficult questions that I had to answer was, Melinda, are you toxic? And I realized, because see when some people, toxic is not always in your face toxic, and that's the kind of thing, people, some people don't know what toxic is like, but there's so many realms of it. And so it could be from, people depending on you to do stuff and you just don't show up. It's not necessarily that you can't show up. You just don't feel like showing up, you know? Or it could be something, as it's not big to you, but it might be big to somebody else, supporting somebody's brand. Or being toxic could be something like seeing somebody operating outside of the spirit and not checking them to let them know, like, hey, you're wrong, So I just found that I was toxic in many ways, not necessarily toxic and I was bringing people down, but toxic in a way that I was not pushing people up the way that I was supposed to. Right. So a lot of people were stagnant because I refused to show up because it was about me. So
Mm.
I had to learn. I did. I had to learn. So yeah, so a lot of healing. And even like I said, even within my household, things I had to change in my household about what I decided to make priority and not make priority. And I finally understood what it meant to be unapologetic about your decisions, right? So I was unapologetic. And then for those who didn't understand me and those who chose not to stay with me on my journey, I don't blame you for anything, but I forgive you for everything, right? My forgiveness is a one-way street. That's another thing I learned. I expected people to treat me like I treated them. Why? That was my decision, right? So I give you what I need to give you, and if you don't give it back to me, then guess what? I've learned how to adjust. I learned how to still go out and eat dinner with you, because you know what, when we go out, you tell the best jokes, we drink the best wine, and we just do everything. But if you're the type of person where you tell my business, guess what, I'm just not going to tell you my business, but we still going to be cool and you're still going to be my friend, right? I needed to adjust. Why am I putting my expectations about my life and how I expect things on you if that's not how you operate? If that's not how you were taught, like, why would I do that? I've cut off a lot of good friends. This is something I wish I would have known years ago, because I cut off a lot of good friends because they didn't fit my narrative of what a friendship should be. Healing. Healing did that for me.
I'm gonna tell you one of my favorite sayings, Belinda, and you hit the nail on. You hit the hammer on the nail. Know what you're dealing with and deal with it accordingly.
Absolutely. That's it right there.
That's it.
Absolutely.
You
Yes.
cannot put your expectancy. Number one, when you expect something of a person, if they don't know that's what you're expecting and they don't live up to your expectancy, you are in the wrong.
Right.
Because you put an expectancy on a person, not even knowing how much they can even hold.
Right. Oh man. Now that right there, what they can hold.
Yeah,
They might not be able to handle it. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. That is perfect right there.
Linda, I am so glad that you came on today because you definitely dropped some nuggets.
Okay.
You
Thank
definitely had some jewels. But we have to be careful of what we expect from people
you. Right.
because, like I said all the time, what you're expecting isn't what you're going to get out of it. And especially if you don't let the person know that's what your expectancy is.
That's right.
And the other thing that you were saying is you were healing, and some people didn't know what was going on.
Right.
There's another show that I wanted to do, and the topic of that is going to be, is my healing hurting you?
Ooh. Ooh.
And
That's
that
gonna be fire.
and that comes from when we start or allow ourselves to heal. Sometimes we don't even tell people that's what we're doing because sometimes we don't even know that's what's going on. We
Right.
don't know the people that we are affecting. Them not knowing because we are the strong friend or the friend that never has an issue or a friend that never shares the issue. When we go into our moment of, all right, we're pulling away, we're healing, we're working on some things, and we're not verbal about it,
Right.
people feel like, oh, you're just shutting me out. You're not talking to me. what's going on with you.
Right.
And then it becomes your healing is hurting the next person because
Right.
they don't understand what you're going through.
Right. Right. I think too, social media, so sometimes social media plays a big part in that. And I just spoke on this the other day, and I'm like, listen, we have to stop telling people to start checking on their strong friends, because strong friends are not talking. You know what? You check on your strong friends by knowing your strong friends and their habits. Because I'm a strong friend, I have certain habits. So I have friends, if they don't see me posting for a few days, they're going to pick up the phone. They're going to call me. They might know that I'm not going to answer the phone, but they know how much it means to me
To see
that
that call.
correct, or to see that text message. I might not respond, but because they know me, they know that this is going to make Malinda feel good if I text or if I call. Like, and some strong friends might talk, but I'm just going to tell you, me personally, if you call me, ask me what's wrong, I'm going to be like, hey, I'm great. What's going on? How are you doing? What can I do for you? You know? And it ends up being about the person on the other end. We're called strong friends for a reason, you know, and that's because we have this thing where we feel like we're unbreakable, and we don't want people to carry our pain. So when you want to check on your strong friends, check on your strong friends by checking on their habits.
So
And
I'm gonna address you real quick too, Melinda. But first thing I'm gonna say is, like you said, is knowing their habits. With a strong person, I'm a strong friend. You can't ask us closed-ended questions. We need open-ended
yes,
questions. We
yes,
need a question that's gonna make us, because I'll be quick to tell you I'm blessed. How everything going on
yeah,
with you? How's the family? And like you
right,
said, move on with them. But you have to ask us open-ended questions on a
that's
scale of
good,
one to 10, what kind of day you having today. If I
that's
say a
good,
10, it's not a 10 type of day, I've just told you a lie, right? So
right.
ask us questions. That's going to discovery questions. That's what they are.
Yes. See, now that's good. That is good right there. And I hope
Definitely
that that's
discovery
going to be a
questions.
topic, you know, that I don't know, you do one day, but that is
We might
that's
have to
good.
add it. But
Yeah.
I want to say this to you, getting on you about that. And that's because I had to get on myself about it.
Right, right.
We always say that as a strong friend, or check on your strong friend, because as a strong friend, we don't have other friends. When God sends his angels, because that's what the people are when they come check on us, and
Mm,
we turn them away by not responding the right way, giving
mm,
them that cover up response, we're shutting him out.
right.
You sent someone to help you and you turned that help.
Ooh, that's good. That's good right there.
So we
That's
gotta
the
stop
word.
that.
Yes.
When people check on us, we have to be transparent, because
Right.
there's no way that we can pour from an empty cup.
Right. Absolutely. You're right.
So the next time somebody come and check on you, don't turn it out on them or turn
Okay.
it around on them. Be honest, because we need somebody to talk to too.
Right. You're right. You're absolutely correct. That's good right there. And I'm gonna hold that close to my heart. And yes, I will definitely be doing that.
Yep. So that's definitely one way that we, as strong friends, we need a strong friend circle.
We do. We do. I absolutely agree. A strong friend circle. Hey, strong friend, how you doing today?
But
On
are
a
we gonna
scale
be
of one to
in the
look, on a
circle?
scale of 1 to 10.
How you feeling today?
Right, right.
Yeah, so that's our new thing. And I even was doing a post early in 2020, drop the color heart.
Oh,
You don't even have to be verbal. You're just telling me about
right.
the heart. I see where you are. I think it was like red for good, green for so, yellow for not a good
Yeah,
day.
that's
And
good.
by that way, I could jump in your inbox. I could call you, friend, what's going on? You need some help with,
Right.
things that you're not wanting to be verbal about. Those emojis will work.
Absolutely.
We
Those
just have to
that's
be
good.
creative and find ways that that we're able to help each other. We
Right,
can't
right.
put people out.
Right. I agree. That's good.
You
That's
know.
word right there.
So I got one last question for you. We're right
Okay,
at
okay.
the 30-minute mark, but now that we know that you've arrived, and now that we also know that that there's a process, because your arrival is going to turn to another taking flight situation.
Yes.
What's next from Melinda's Long Alford? What's next on your plate?
Well, just continuing to build my business. I tried to build my business probably about 2.5 years ago, my real estate business. Didn't build it where I needed to, the way I needed to build it. But that's because I hadn't arrived. I was still in landing mode. But now that I've stepped out of myself to look and see, the things that I need to do. I plan on expanding my business again, once again, to North Carolina and Georgia. I also plan on I just plan on networking with different people outside of real estate, continuing to build my relationship equity. And who I really don't know what the future holds, but I know it's going to be something big. So right now my main focus has been on my business, because I can help people to a certain extent where I'm at, but I know once I expand, I want to come back and pour it back into my community even more than I've done before. So that's what's on the books.
That's dope. So for people, if they wanted to follow you, um, they could follow you on IG at million underscore dollar underscore Melinda,
Yeah,
correct?
they can follow me on Instagram. Of course, I'm on Facebook as Malinda Song Alford. But yes, they can also follow me on Instagram, million underscore dollar underscore Melinda. That's me prophetically speaking to my life.
Girl, you gonna be that. You got that $1 million. Don't be
Absolutely.
worried about it.
That's
I
right.
was talking to a friend of mine the other day. I said, let me go ahead and open up a new bank account because the money looking for me. I
Okay.
just need to find out what bank account to go to.
Okay. That's right.
Okay.
That's good. I like that. See, now I'm be tagging you on my post when I open up my new bank account. It's a $1 million bank account right here.
Look, I'm gonna start sharing the routing number and the account number because you never
Oh,
know who watching you want to sow that seed.
okay, okay. That's all right. That's all right.
But I definitely thank you for your yes. I thank you for joining me on today.
Thank you for having me.
Um, for anyone that wants to tune in on the podcast, because this will be loaded on the podcast as well, it is anchor.fm/KTL Lifestyle. To stay connected with me, my website is KarenTLewis.com. I thank you all for joining us, for taking your time out during the day. As we, had our interview with Melinda, she definitely was dropping some jewels. So,
Thank
Melinda, once again, I thank you so much. Do you have anything to close us out with before I close us out? Do you have anything you want to say to the people?
peace and blessings to everyone, and I'm praying that everybody has an amazing 2021.
I'll take all of that. So to
Yes.
close us out on today, I just wanted to tell you all, just remember, even when you have arrived, there is still another flight. There's still another itinerary with your name on it. So
Right.
don't miss that next flight because you are so comfortable at the position that you're in right now. We get there, and there's always time to get to the next step. Do not get comfortable in the season that you're in. As always, I love you, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you.